Put this on. Good morning, Longmont. Okay, that's my best.
And mine is Good Morning World.
Oh God, there is no world outside of Longmont. You should know this.
Well, then this is the world. Come on, let's figure this out.
It's a very small world.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I am Ken Godfrey. Hi. This is Jenny Schuster.
Hi.
And today we're going to be talking about, what are we talking about?
Today's retention. We're going to talk about some retention.
Water retention or mental retention?
Business retention. Keeping employees. How about that?
Oh my God.
Is that why you and I don't have any? No.
Oh, you have no idea. I have a story to tell you. But first, let's start with our sponsors.
Okay.
Our sponsors, number one, is Gottfried Marketing. Imagine that. It's my business. When you need t-shirts, when you need apparel, when you need print products, and you want them at the best price, and a wonderful guy telling you horrible jokes, I'm your guy. Yeah.
And here I am assisting him in all this madness.
And
And I'm here, thank you Adrian Chenault, because of Contact Mapping.
Adrian! Yeah.
We love Adrian.
Yeah, you know, I think I like Tom more.
And Tom, yes, we love Tom, and his wife Denise.
Absolutely. She is by far one of the most gorgeous people. I've never met her.
You haven't?
No.
Oh,
I was going to go into a whole tirade.
but you're right, she is. Yeah.
Have you not seen Tom? She would have to be.
Yeah.
Inside
good point.
and out.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I love Tom, but Tom is Tom. And so.
Let's see, is Tom going to see this? I don't know.
Tom, are you crazy? Tom is here.
Yeah.
We're like here climbing up
I
the.
know.
You know,
We're trying to climb up, but it's more going downhill. No. We're trying to get up there.
Yeah, we're starting at the base. There's no down from here other than not doing it.
Right, yeah.
I do want to point out that Jenny is trying to kill me today.
No,
And
she's not.
For this is what she did. She brought me this thing. Okay, this drink.
Well, he's got to open it in order to find out whether I'm going to kill him or not.
Oh, you're going to know it. You're going to know it in about 15 minutes.
Okay.
Maybe 20.
Okay, we're going to see.
Because why? No, what you are going to ask that? Why? Why is that going to kill you?
Why? Yes, tell me.
I'm allergic to caffeine.
Oh, is there caffeine in there? I thought it was tea,
green
tea.
Oh my God, taurine, this, that, the It doesn't even say how much caffeine's in this thing, but I can promise you in about 15 minutes you're going to be like, I can't get a word in edgewise.
Oh, maybe that's a good thing.
No, it's not. It's gonna be like, you know, me not listening at all.
Okay, all right.
Me talking at you as opposed to you.
Yeah.
L'chaim.
Well, I think I'm already used to that, aren't I? Or am I? No, I get my words in edgewise.
I do, and I actually listen to you and respond with those, not just react. And
Not bad, yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
Take a little wax out of the ears, please, folks.
Okay, so we're going to talk about employee retention.
Yes.
I'm going to let you start this because I've had a business with 50 employees. You've had a business with how many?
It was up to 13, I would say, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And years ago, when we had the business, we were doing well enough that things such as helping the people with their, oh my. That's Adrian trying to tell me to get on a Zoom call, sorry. Adrian, I'm busy.
Another reason that we like Tom more.
Right.
Okay?
They follow up with us.
Yes.
So the thing about retention is that you try to make your employees happy. And you try different ways. So you try bonus structures and you try to give them health benefits. You try to give them different commission structures or pay raises. And it's amazing how hard sometimes it is for employees to understand how hard a lot of times employers are trying to get them to stay and make them happy.
Absolutely, absolutely. That goes without saying.
Yeah.
There's a fan in the other room. I'm gonna be back in 2 seconds.
Okay,
Okay, sorry about that.
so folks, 75%, I'm going by statistics, so I ended up printing this out since he's gone. 75% of your employees may not plan to stay for more than 5 years. Now, why is that?
Transition, people's lives, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
It really depends. I mean, when I had students that were working for me, most of them were students.
Yeah,
Depending on the position and the job, you know, when I had the print services and shipping services, I had a lot of interns and a lot of people who were literally going through school, graduating, getting this as credits.
yeah,
My other business, Expressions, I couldn't get rid of these bastards.
what was Expressions?
Expressions was my chain of stores in North
Oh,
Carolina.
right,
And
okay.
so, because granted, I paid almost every bit of minimum,
Yeah,
but the work environment was so fun, so educational, so this is what I love,
yeah,
you know. Excuse me, I could not pry these people away.
yeah,
And you said something about retention. Both, when I was selling my business, both my attorney and my accountant said the exact same thing, having not spoken to each other.
what?
When I die, I want to come back as your employees. You know, as your employee. Because I treated them really well. I mean,
Yeah.
I would bring in food, I would, if
Oh.
we were doing well, I would, it was great. I would always keep an extra person on,
Yeah,
above and beyond what I thought I needed, because that would lead to customer retention.
correct.
And so.
Because when they're happy, especially in that business, because they're all over the floor, right? How big was your facility?
3,600 square feet.
I mean, that's huge.
Mhm.
That's huge.
That was just one of them.
And so they're walking around seeing if they can help people, straightening things up, pricing, doing stuff like that.
Telling jokes,
Yeah,
having fun. Because some of the questions you get in are amazing.
Yeah.
And it was in an area that they loved, which a lot of it was smoking paraphernalia. Some of it was novelty gag gifts. Some of it was Pier 1 imports. So we had across the line. So there was always something to learn and have fun with.
yeah, yeah.
So,
For us, we had really good employees who were college grads. I mean, they were very smart in offset printing.
mhm.
And they sometimes went to work for UPS and asked for their job back.
Oh yeah, because UPS, having known UPS,
Yeah,
UPS is a horrible, horrible company to ever work for.
well, I don't
to
know,
be a part of.
horrible, I thought they paid well, but you work really, really hard.
They are how can I say this? That is absolutely correct. But they are horrible in a sense where it's like, you delivered 8 packages in those 10 minutes. We now need you to do 12 packages.
Oh,
We
wow,
now
so they
need you-
upped it all the time.
They would always up it, they would always put pressure on people. I had the utmost respect for people who were working there, but I dealt with them personally.
Yeah,
I dealt with their corporate personally. UPS are giant pieces of shit that don't care about anybody else but themselves.
now let's look at that. Is that because they're so big that they can't reach down to the people who are the hard workers?
No, God no. God no.
No?
No. I bought a UPS store
Okay,
for $15,000. And I immediately changed the name to Go Postal, which was my store, because if you buy a UPS store,
yeah.
sometimes if you have
I didn't, oh, okay, yeah.
if you
I
have
guess.
the right locations,
Yeah,
you can do well. If you don't, you are a slave
And where'd you fit in?
Oh, I stayed 10 feet away with a pole, and I knew that they were sons of bitches.
Yeah.
Absolutely sons
So
of
they
bitches.
didn't work with you? How do you mean?
No, they
You
wouldn't.
you couldn't contact them if you had an issue, or,
Oh my
explain that
God,
better. Tell your story.
Oh, do you really want me to? Okay, I will elaborate on this.
Yes.
Um, and I don't even know where to start. I'm going to start in the beginning. Mailbox, etc.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, they had 6,000, right at 6,000 stores across the U.S.
Okay.
UPS bought them out
Oh, all right.
and fucked over almost every single one of them.
Ooh.
Yes, they didn't know what they were doing. They didn't have a model. They didn't have a model that was successful, and they immediately came in and railroaded almost all of the mailbox, etc. Sucked out all of their profits, made them go on their platform, and within 2 to 5 years, there was 6,000. There was now less than 4,000.
Oh, wow.
They decimated those people with mailbox, etc., just destroying them.
Wow.
And you know what? They didn't give a shit. They put their lawyers in between them. They screwed over everyone, knowing that they didn't have any more money because they put them out of business, because they railroaded them. They fucked these people.
So that doesn't make sense. If they bought them, why wouldn't they make them more profitable so that it would be more money into UPS's pockets and, on up the line?
Oh, there was more money in the UPS's pockets. They made everybody get on the scale because, when you're doing a mailbox, etc., your profits are in shipping.
Right.
And so...
And there's all that packaging that they charge for, and the size of the box, and the weight.
UPS destroyed that. So not only did they say you have to sell at this price, and they cut out their profits, they also, on the back end, they took an 8% commission on anything that on gross, anything that they did.
Okay.
So they were making it not up front, but in the back too.
Yeah.
So if you look up bluemaumau.com.
Okay, never heard of that one.
It's a shipper thing, and
Okay.
they've kind of faded away because almost all the transitions have happened, and it's been a while now. But there are some people there that they crushed. They destroyed their retirement. This is the people's retirements. This is what they just
I
came
know.
in and they bulldozed everybody. And if you were in the way, you got crushed.
Yeah.
And they could care less. There was no, oh, we screwed your business up. Boom, sorry. Get the fuck out of the way so we can
Yeah.
get somebody else.
Yeah.
That's who these people are. So, and I look at
Once
this.
again, big corporation, and that's what brings people to resenting the large corporations.
Absolutely, because it's like Google, it's like Facebook, it's like UPS. If you ever get on UPS's, I need to call you and contact you,
Yeah.
you might as well kiss your ass for
Yeah.
at least an hour and a half or an hour because you can't get a representative.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for giving me this caffeine. I can feel it kicking in. On top of which,
Good.
guess what percentage of, now if you buy insurance for a package,
Uh-huh.
okay, and something happens to that package like many times it has,
Sure.
what percentage is denied by UPS?
Well,
Wrong, 100%.
100, oh, really?
100% denied, fuck you, go away.
Yeah.
Because they realize if they deny 100% of the claims, only maybe 20 to 25% of the people will say fight for the other part.
Yeah.
And out of that 25%, they will fight you and fight you and fight you until they finally give in for usually less than what they agreed upon.
And they have, once again, that's big corporation where the big corporations have the lawyers and access to money to fund the lawyers. So if you're a small business person, too bad.
And I was a shipper. I had 2 locations at one time, one in Boone, North Carolina, another one in West Jefferson. And every time I called up and did, hey, I got an insurance claim, denied, you packed it wrong. There was, 10, it could be 10
wow.
inches around, denied, we didn't lose it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you lost it, you can't find it.
Yeah.
Well, we can't give it to you. excuse me, and then you have to escalate and escalate and escalate. This stuff makes me burp too. Thank you very much. And so it was.
Pretty soon you're going to be going around with a basketball.
Oh, you have no idea what this stuff. I've already drank this much of it.
Yeah.
Just to let you know, I will drink the rest of this. I will not go to sleep till 3 or 4 o'clock this morning.
Oh, really?
Really, really.
Oh, well, you can save some of it for tomorrow.
No, I can't. No.
It tastes too good, doesn't it?
I've got a little. It is good, but I got a lot of work to do, so I don't mind.
Well, aren't you happy that I knew ahead of time? I've got ESP. I knew you had a lot of work to do, and so that's why I brought that in. I said, Ken needs energy. And who's going to give it to him? Yes.
Jenny, you are amazing, and I love you, and I thank you for it. And at 2 a.m. I'm going to be, and you suck,
Yeah,
and you suck,
yeah,
but it's okay.
I'm going to take your phone off here so that I don't hear you when you call me at 3 in the morning to say I'm still awake.
Oh, and you know it. And if anybody wants it, there's her number. Call her. And so, it's UPS is one of the most uncaring, unforgiving, we don't give a shit companies that's on this planet.
Yeah.
And I know this from literally 15 years of dealing with them.
Well, I know as a small business owner, I know how hard we work to please our people. You talk about food. We had a friend who brought in bagels from Moe's Bagels. So I have no idea how he got all these bagels, but he brought them in, and here we have 13 employees. Well, he would bring them in for some reason, say on Tuesday, and it was a big bag, so they were all together, all, maybe 1 day old.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, they loved it, and then it's like something clicked, and it was like we're trying to make them fat. That we did the same thing with donuts. We thought, how can we reward our people so that they know that they're loved? So in contact mapping, things that you teach people is you want to make them safe, you want to make them feel loved, and what are the other things? I know I've got them here. Loved, trust, safety, and belong. Those are the 4 things. And it is really hard a lot of times for employers who are thinking of the dollar amount of how they're going to pay the people, as well as, oh, I love you, and show affection, show, that you care for them, and treat them. So you come up with little things that you think will make them happy, but after a while, it turns around on you. So it doesn't work. And when I look at this, that is why so many people in today's world are looking at getting into their own business, home-based business, where they don't have any of this issue.
Yeah, that's very true. And you have a lot of people that don't know how to juggle and balance that whole thing.
Right.
One of the things that I used to do with my shipping business is I went to 2 of my employees. I said, you guys need to get the hell out of here. I said, you need to get the hell out of here for 1 hour on me, you and you, because you talk about shit all the time and how to better this business. You need to get the hell out of here and go for a hike 1 hour to 1 hour and a half every week.
Yeah.
On my time. And they looked at me like I was crazy. I said, you have to do this. Take a pen, take a piece of paper, and just joke and talk and say, how can we improve? And it's those things that, Maya Angelou says, and I love her thing, people will never remember what you do for them.
Yes.
People will always remember how you make them feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so when you bring that to that level, and contact mapping is really good about that, is you don't bring back, hey, you wanted a bifold brochure, so are we going to go with that? It's much better to go back. How'd your kid do during the graduation?
My goodness. And I never knew the importance of that. I'm telling you, we had this gal at the front counter, and I just listened to her all the time. She was so good with people that way.
Yeah.
And I never realized the importance of it. I think that's why I'm so in love with this contact mapping, is because I didn't realize the importance of it, and it's just spelling it out to me when I talk with people. Oh, they say something and in one ear out the other, okay, great, have a great day. As opposed to remembering the intricate things about people's lives.
Now, I will tell you where this will backfire.
Where?
When you have a person that really just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And
So
they're-
you mean, are we talking about Ken? Or am
no,
I too not,
no,
am I too?
no, because we can read through people. I mean, you've
Yeah.
been around enough people to be able to see, and get the feeling and stuff.
Yeah,
And when you have a person that is basically like reading a script, so, and they're like, so, Ginny, it's nice seeing you again. So, how's that graduation?
yeah.
And, or they're going, or they're so intent. So how's that graduation? How's that thing? And you're like, I know you don't give a fuck right now. You just want the sale. And so you're trying to play this
Yeah.
personal game.
Yeah.
Or I wear Giant stuff all the time. And I'd go through a trade show and people would be like, oh, so you like the Giants, huh? And I'm like, shut the fuck up. You're not selling me anything I need. And I know you're only doing that to try and get that one step close to me.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people use that. Salespeople use that all the
Well,
time.
what about waiters? Where they take your order and then when they bring the bill, oh, it was so nice to have you here. Thank you so much.
Oh
I
my
hope
God, stop throwing up on my lap. It's like, you want to get to the point where you're just like, stop it. Stop
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And as they talk, 18%, 15%, 12%, I know you don't give a shit.
Okay. Tell me, have you ever left a penny?
No, I'm Jewish. We'd never leave a penny. We'd leave a nickel.
Oh,
Pennies are like, I'm sorry.
no, I thought that pennies are the insult.
I've usually left nothing.
Yeah,
If that's the case, and I have had some instances, very rare because I don't want to be there
yeah.
in that situation. Thank you for this burping stuff.
Well, it sounds great.
But no,
No, it's zero or what you want.
yeah, I've never left a penny. I don't believe. Have you? Yeah, you
Hubby
have.
has.
What did you say?
Hubby has.
Oh, okay. There are times, but that does make a statement.
Well, let's take this into tips, since we're talking about tips and waiters and waitresses. I know this is all over the board, but it's still income producing, right?
Yeah.
So my mother, who wasn't really in my life, and then when she was, we were taking her out to the restaurants that she liked. So we were making her last 5 years of her life the best she ever had.
Yeah.
And totally different mindset than what I was used to. So 15%, but my mother insisted that we leave 20%. She always picked up the bill, but she said 20%. And so I know and understand that money is like a flow and energy and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so how do people know when to tip, how much to tip, why they tip? Every time that question comes up, whether it's a waiter, waitress, whether it's the bellhop, it really messes people up a lot of times.
Mine always starts at 20%.
Right there.
Always starts at 20%. And you could only do so much shit before you get down to 15%.
Okay.
Exceptional, I will just not even, when it's exceptional, like when I'm leaving there so comfortable.
Yeah,
And I had such a good meal. And they were just spot on. You could see, you could
Yeah.
feel the empathy of that person. You understood the quality of what food came out, and you just feel so much better. The 20% goes out the window, goes into the fucking trash. Because I've left $20, $40, $50 tips before.
yeah,
And I was like, this has been great. Thank you.
yeah,
And so the meal may have been 20, $50, but I left that equivalent in a tip.
Yeah.
Because it's just, when it's why I did what I did with my stores. I never wanted for you to come in and bring all that trash that's on your shoulders and everything. I wanted everyone to leave that at the door, so I always tried to open them up with a joke. I always tried to just say, hey, listen, whatever we can do, let us know we're here to help, and
Yeah.
just there.
yeah,
And, I wanted to make them as comfortable as possible, and that's what a true veteran or experienced waiter, waitress, doorman knows. They want you to feel better. They want you to feel good. They want to not,
true, true, yeah.
And that's so, but it,
So that's the same in any store you go into. So my mind flashes to different stores that I've been in, whether it's a tire store, and, that's another example. So if you walk into a place and you don't get that Ken who is vivacious and hi, all I want is for you to leave and feel great. If you've owned a business before, it's almost as though you go into that place and you look for that kind of person because that's what you're expecting.
and that's it, and that's what you're attracted to. You're
Yeah.
attracted to, I told you the last story about my friend who had the coffee shop.
Right.
And I just went in there and people would come in. They are attracted to good energy.
Good energy.
And
exactly.
and what you put out is what the world sees.
Yeah,
And many people get used because there are, you have Backstreet Boys. The guy who managed them stole all their money, and these kids, all they want to do is sing and do whatever.
oh, right.
And, you do get used in that thing, so you have to be a little bit smarter, but you're attracted to that good energy. You're attracted to what is happening,
Yeah,
and you want to go back. You feed off of that
yeah,
because it's just human nature.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah. So it's all stores, and that may be what gets people to want to be in their own business. Sometimes,
Yes, sometimes, because
but they don't know how to do it all the time.
a lot of people, I'm gonna say 70–80% money. I wanna make money. I wanna be money. I wanna, and that's why I'm doing my own business.
But they don't, they have that motive, but do the people really, when they get in, not all of them realize that there's a certain amount of personal growth that they have to go through.
Oh, yeah, huge.
And with that personal growth, a lot of times you realize that it's more than just the money. That's where you dig down and start to realize that you have to be serving other people more.
Most serial entrepreneurs, most true entrepreneurs, Simon Sinek, have you heard of him?
Yes, definitely.
Brilliant guy.
Yeah,
And
love that guy.
He just did a thing about we eat last.
We what?
We owners, entrepreneurs eat last.
Oh, okay.
You know what that means.
Yeah, yeah.
Go ahead, let me hear your point of view on that.
Well, they're always thinking of the other person first, and
Whatever
Basically.
comes, a true entrepreneur, whatever comes into the store. One of the reasons that Jeff Bezos was so fucking successful is he ate last for a decade. He didn't make money the first decade. He lived in his office. He worked 60 to 70 hours a week
I didn't know that.
and loved it.
Yeah,
He's like, I am gonna take this thing, I'm gonna sell books.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna conquer the book market. That's what he did. This is what Amazon was.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna switch this over. Now that I got this shit right, I'm gonna switch it over to products.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna do something that no one else has done on the planet. I'm gonna make it so simple for you to buy a product, and I'm gonna rush it to your front door.
Wow.
You know how much that son of a bitch makes?
Oh,
Every month,
I can't imagine.
every month from Prime. He has 300 million people on Prime.
Oh, does he really?
$12 a piece.
Wow.
Every month he makes $1.5 billion.
Oh, wow. Poor
So-
guy. Can I carry his luggage?
But when you eat last, that's what you do. You may do it for a week or a year. You may do it
Yeah.
for 2 years. You may do it. I did it for 8 years.
Yeah.
I worked my ass off for 8 years. I ate ramen noodles. I knew I was going out for dinner
Yeah.
at least once every 2 months.
Oh, I got you beat.
You know.
I got you beat. We did that, but I loved what we did. So we got married, came out to Colorado, and I had seen in an ad in the newspaper in the Wall Street Journal about a print shop for sale. Did I tell you this story already?
No, you got me hook, line, and sinker. Go
All
ahead.
right, okay. So when I lived in Miami, I worked for Ryder Truck Rental and in the computer department.
You look like a trucker, but
Yeah,
go
don't
ahead.
I? Now in the computer department. So the guy who ran the print shop was downstairs. And my dad was a mechanical engineer, so I knew and understand.
That explains a lot.
I understood machinery.
Yeah.
And I love machinery. So he showed me, oh, Ginny, this is easy. Try this. This is easy. You know, this business would be really easy. Well, I must have tucked it in the back of my mind because when I saw in the Wall Street Journal a print shop for sale in Boulder, and that's where we were going because we had traveled around for the summer and left the van in, we were long-haired hippies people.
Oh, nice. So you
Yeah.
lived in a van
Yeah.
down by the river.
Right, of course, yeah.
Okay.
No, there was a KOA in Boulder. Anyway, we ended up, those were the days. So we ended up going into the first print shop, and it was Speedy B. It used to be Sir Speedy, but the franchise people had done something illegal. Her dad was able to get her out of the franchise, so she didn't have to feed. Well, we were kind of shocked that she was ready to sell the business. So we said, well, wait a minute, we need some time to really look at this. Well, the more we looked at it, we went up to Fort Collins, Colorado Springs, and looked at different areas, different ways of getting into printing, and that was the best one. So we spent all our money. There were 3 of us, 2 guys, so it was my hubby, myself, and his partner. And we said, okay, we're ready to buy it. Well, we lived out of the van for a couple weeks till we found a hotel that would take us by the month because we couldn't afford it. And we ended up having a crock pot brought in that we used. And at night, we went over to the Village Pancake House where they had for 99 cents eggs and all the coffee you can drink.
Oh, jeez.
And toast. And once a week, we would splurge and spend $1 more for bacon. But you know, those are such cool memories.
Absolutely, absolutely. When I lived when I opened up my first store in Salisbury,
Yeah,
I broke up with my girlfriend like a month later, and I lived in the store.
yeah.
No shower, no heat, no air conditioning.
Oh, no.
And when it was cold,
Yeah,
in the wintertime, it was cold. And when it was hot, it was hot.
so
And
you
I-
couldn't afford the electricity to heat or cool the place?
No, it didn't have it.
It just didn't have it.
It just didn't have any working air or heat. And, it was, I lived like that for a year and a
Yeah.
half. And I had to bicycle to the Civic Center just to shower. And I'd bike back, And if it was really, really hot, I would bite there again in the evening if they were open up. And Sundays, I didn't get near anybody.
But the creativity that you go through when you're put through those hardships.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can write a book on all those when you've done something like that. You just have to think outside of the box.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, and you know what's funny is that they didn't like me there in Salisbury. I was right across from the courthouse. And I'm selling pipes and lingerie and
Right,
vibrators.
I bet they didn't,
and they're like, I don't like this guy. And so I lost my license. I had a suspended license. I didn't know it. And so I got caught without my driver's license. I had to appear in court. And what they did in Salisbury, they thought, you know what, we're going to fuck this guy.
Yeah.
You know what, you're going to lose your license for a year. I had already planned, I'm leaving. I'm getting the hell out of this town. And when they took my license, I had no way to get the hell out of this town.
Oh no, oh
and so I got stuck there for another year, and there was nothing I could do.
Wow.
And so, and I didn't lose my license because of DUI, whatever. I lost my license because I didn't have it on me driving, and it was suspended. In North Carolina, you lose your license for a year. They don't give you any rights or anything. If I was drunk, I would at least be able to drive to work, back, whatever.
No kidding, no kidding.
No right, I had no, so I had to literally live on catalogs and, knowing what I know. And so I call up my companies, and the only catalogs were like novelty catalogs, gag gift catalogs, lingerie catalogs, and so that aspect of my business just grew. Luckily.
So that's why, and so you ended up staying there another year?
I stayed there. I stayed there until I sold it. I kept renting. They even bought my fucking building out from under me.
Did they?
I had.
Who did?
The town. Okay, the fucking town of Salisbury.
I can understand a strip joint, but most of them, those, they're always running out of town.
No. They did not like me.
Wow.
On top of which, I was in Salisbury and they didn't like Jews there. And so, but I was right across the street. I was buying the building for $25,000. So I went to First Union, where the mayor's husband worked there, and I was like, I want to get a place with it. I want to get a $25,000 loan for it.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, no problem, no problem. 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later. I mean, I was banking with him.
Yeah.
About 6 weeks later, I get a 30-day notice to move the fuck out because one of their friends bought the building out from under me and gave me 30 days to get the hell out. Yep.
No kidding.
I was saved. My life was saved by Victor Wallace in Salisbury.
Yeah.
And I owe him still a debt of gratitude because he was like, I don't like what they did to you.
Yeah.
Not only did they do that, but there was vacancies all over Main Street and, Innis Street and all the Innis Ave. And so I went to all the places that were vacant. You know what they said?
What?
We're not renting you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, blatant. We're not going to rent to you.
Yeah.
What are you, crazy?
Yeah. Well, that's working against City Hall.
They could care less.
Yeah.
But I did go, I don't know if I told you this or I told somebody else. I think I did say, I did an advertisement when I moved on to Fisher Street. And the advertisement was on like K-Rock. It was 106.7.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was, I had a cop pull into my store crying. And it's like, you pissed me off. You almost made me wreck my car this morning. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? He's like, I was listening to the K-Rock, and the commercial was, expressions, blah, 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 this, that, the other. So, when you think of vibrators, think of historical Salisbury. And
You didn't tell me that. Oh my goodness.
So he came in, he was laughing so hard, and he almost wrecked his patrol car. He was like, that was so freaking funny. And we laughed for probably 15, 20 minutes. I love that guy, Steve. And so then he left it, but it brought me a ton of business. It was great because
Yeah.
they knew what they did, and now I'm able to play, like Howard Stern. The big guy's trying to crush the little guy.
Yeah.
Well, you might as well fight the sons of bitches back.
Yeah.
When Catawba College, I was advertising on their campus. They banned me from advertising on their campus, so I made shirts that said "banned from Catawba." I sold the shit out of them. I was really upset at first, but how do you get every goddamn kid who goes to that college to come into your store? Tell them they're not allowed in that store.
Oh, you're right, yeah.
So.
Oh, good point. Oh, my goodness.
But anyhow, are we on retention? 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I digress.
I don't know, this is pretty good. Did we miss anything? I can't believe we could have. Let's see.
Here's the bottom line. Speaking from somebody who has 52 employees at one time.
Yeah, that's quite a few.
Yeah, that's 52 fucking headaches.
Yeah.
And anybody who's in business knows. I'm going to repeat this, I'm going to repeat this, I'm going to repeat this. As a business owner, you are not a business owner. You are a fireman, because you're constantly putting out fires.
Yeah, good point.
You are a juggler.
Yeah.
And if you can, that's one of the things I love about having ADHD, is it makes it perfect to be juggling all this shit. What's my payroll? What's my salary?
Yeah,
What am I going to be doing? What's the inventory coming in? What's selling? And I have to think about what the
there's
future's
so
like.
much going through
What's
your
the
mind.
economy? All that shit. Oh fuck, we got COVID.
Yeah.
Okay, what am I going to juggle?
Yeah.
And the last thing is, and it's one of the hardest things, you're a babysitter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Period. You had 12 employees. You are a babysitter for 12 little kids.
Right. Yeah.
Some are better than others, some are worse than others.
Right.
The thing was, and this is always the case, generational gap. And, our fathers.
So when you say generational gap, are you also thinking of?
Did you just say Jap?
Yeah.
We did not mean to insult any Japanese people
Oh,
that are
sorry.
listening to this.
That was a gap in my
If
head.
you use the N-word, I'm done.
I'm sorry, I wixed my nerves a little bit here.
That's good.
Eggs and bacon and bags and aching.
Exactly. That's why I always go with bass backwards.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so you were on generational gap. Did you want to say something?
I guess not. It wasn't important.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to detract you. I didn't want to break your train off the track. Okay, so generational gap.
Yeah.
We knew, I'm maybe 56, you're 28.
Yeah,
but,
something like that. Yeah.
But your parents are like, 50s, okay, 60s. And these kids listening to that rock and roll, that's what they are. And then came like the 70s, 80s, I can't believe that it's gone this far.
Yeah.
Then it came to us, and we're looking at the kids like they're all victims, and they're all looking for something to jump at. They're all, and it's sad because
They want to stand out, don't you think? Because when I look at when we were growing up, the people there wanted to figure out how they could stand out and be different than their parents. Well, I see the same thing with this next generation, with figuring out how they can stand out and be their own unique type
and
person.
that's beautiful, but I love that. But unfortunately, there's so many factors that are infiltrating these people. Infiltrating the kids nowadays. And then I say kids, 30 and younger.
Yeah.
Because how can?
So you're bringing in social media and that sort of stuff that we didn't have?
Absolutely, and they grew up on this. We
Yes.
grew up on TV.
Yeah.
They grew up on social media.
Yep.
Dear God,
Yeah.
I feel bad for their brain functions.
Oh, I know.
And then the worst part was I brought, when my kids hit 10, I was like, get them phones. I want them to understand electronics. I didn't understand what Facebook and, Twitter would do to their poor little brains.
Right.
And so, as far as employees coming in, when I first started my business from 89, yeah, I'm old, from 89 up until about 2003,
Okay,
everything was fine.
yep.
I didn't have any complaints from my employees. They knew who I was, that I am who I am.
Yeah.
And I did everything I could to make their lives better and to help them and to grow my business.
Yeah.
But then I started seeing a difference, that people would, oh, I don't like him because of what he said. I don't like him because, and I didn't
The
understand.
rapport
The-
between you and them?
Yeah, the rapport started getting a little strained, and I knew something was happening, but I didn't know what.
Yeah.
Because it's
So that was where computers came in, and that's where the younger generation had all the computers coming into the schools. So that's where they were brought
Yeah,
up
and
on
so,
all that.
and not only that, but it's also the feminist movement, women's lib movement,
Oh, it was,
kind of got twisted.
yeah.
And it wasn't so much, they didn't come out and say this then, but this is what they meant. And, this was some of them meant, is that toxic masculinity, all that stuff.
Oh,
They
right,
didn't
yeah.
say that then, but the inference was there. And people were already starting to go that route, which is such a horrible term and a horrible way to describe, masculinity.
Uh-huh.
No, I'm not saying all masculinity is great, but damn, we built the bridges, we
Right.
went to war, we did, it wouldn't be a building over one story if we weren't involved. I mean, crazy.
And I want to take it even further than social media, because what I see is the movies that start to come out from Hollywood influences the way people are thinking.
True.
So they are sometimes several steps ahead because they understand it takes a while for people to accept what they want to get across to you and what they want to accept for
Brainwash us.
brainwashing.
Yeah, and
That's a good way.
Some of it's
reality.
brainwashing, and some of it is advancing as a culture.
Yeah, okay.
Because, 40 years ago, you want to get a job, you do realize you have long hair and boobs, right?
Oh, right, right, yeah.
That
Oh,
bothers the crap out of me, and you know this because, you still see residual of this shit,
Yeah,
but when you were 25 and 30,
yeah.
it was prevalent, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I went to college to be a secretary.
Mhm.
And that was partly because of my dad. And while I was sitting there watching him with his own business, he was saying, well, having your own business is the best way you can go. Figure out what you want to do. But he never used me while I was there to teach me about business. So he was more, excuse me, this may not be the right term, but when I look back at him, he was more male chauvinist, in my opinion, because he figured I was just going to get married, and that was going to be my life,
But
be a mama.
But that's, one of the worst things that happened in the 70s
Yeah,
is that you guys all said, I want to work.
yeah,
And unfortunately, corporate, my view of corporate is schooling leads to employees, not leads to entrepreneurship.
right.
So when you're going to
Yes,
school from
yes.
0 to 12, you are being taught how to be a good laborer.
Oh, well, they're still doing that. They're not
Okay.
teaching the kids anything about entrepreneurship.
So in the 70s, especially in the 70s, early 80s, the business owners said, hey, it would be much better to have 2 slaves as opposed to just 1 slave, the male. So you're your growth into being independent and everything was led by the corporations. I'm not saying that's bad,
Yeah,
but what I'm saying is now you have two people bringing in money, but you still can't make it as
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
Because the products of having a house, the product of having insurance, the product of having a car, the product of having two cars, the product of feeding your kids, you have to work now.
right,
So there is no, I want to be a mama unless you're married to some entrepreneur or somebody who's independently wealthy. So unfortunately, a lot of that is corruption of corporations who are like, we just want slaves.
yeah.
And that's basically what,
And then that feeling is felt down the line.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm all for people trying to be entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
I've done all my life, tried to help people find your niche, find a place, find this where you want to be, and then grow with that.
It's really difficult to get people to narrow down what their passion is without being exposed to a lot of different things.
Mhm.
And when you go to college and you learn about liberal arts, I don't see that necessarily helping people to narrow down what their niche is, where they can make money. Our attitude was, the best thing is to have your kids in accounting and understand the money, finances, and accounting. Then, if you get that, then you can either work for somebody in accounting or own your own business. You have a lot more options.
I get that, but at the same time, when you teach it, this is one of the things that always bothered the fuck out of me.
Why?
No, what? What is the word?
Okay, what? What?
Why? You're going to school.
Yeah,
Why the fuck do they not have finance? This is how you,
exactly.
and not
I don't
finance,
understand.
you can go into, learn, you learn a little bit about the stock market, but mainly, this is your life.
Yeah,
You want to live on your own.
right,
Here's your rent, here's your insurance, here's your this, here's your that, here's your food, here's your medical, here's your blah, 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 blah. All the things, and add those together,
yeah,
times them by 12. That's what you have to have as income to survive.
right.
Do they teach that anywhere in high school? No, they don't, because they want everybody to be so fucking financially stupid. They want them to, all the
So that they
banks,
work for somebody.
all the banks want you to just keep bouncing shit so they can make that $30 and $50 a pop.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
say, oh, well, if you were better financially, but no.
right, right,
And they don't train seriously entrepreneurial classes
right.
because they don't want you to be entrepreneurs.
Exactly.
The bottom line is that all schools, almost all schools, want you to be subservient to, a
You're
corporation.
you're so right, and that is kind of like the revolution that's happening now, where more and more people are understanding that they can make more money, have more time freedom,
Mhm.
and have a much better life
Absolutely.
by getting into the network marketing. When you see the advantages.
Depends on what on the network marketing it is.
Sure, but you have to do your homework on that.
Yeah.
So, I totally agree on that.
Now, are you talking network marketing as in contact mapping, or are you talking are you talking networking or network marketing?
Network marketing.
Because I think Amway, I think
Exactly.
Mary Kay.
Right.
I think, and I've watched so many people get just buried, and they have a garage full of Amway or Mary Kay products, and
Well, exactly. So, basically, it's changed a lot over the years. So, you don't have to have any of that product in your back office, in your house, if you don't want to. So,
But you have to maintain the level that you're selling if you're gonna make stuff.
as you get more people on your team,
Gotcha.
You do, yeah. But I tried Amway, I didn't really understand it, and I didn't have a good mentor. I tried a company called Beeline, where they sold clothes. And I thought, this is great, but as soon as I went into management, I didn't do all that well. And then I even tried Mary Kay. Now, that one, that's a funny one. Here my daughter has said, hey Mom, you want to do this with me? Well, she was a senior in high school, and I go, sure, I'll do that with you. Well, you buy your position. You don't do that with all of these network marketing companies.
Yeah.
So with Mary Kay, you could buy into the position you want. Well, we have the printing business, so I said, oh, well, I've got some extra money, I'll just buy us up here. And then she left for college. I didn't know anything about makeup, so I couldn't.
Were you one of those people that had a garage of fucking rouge?
On that one I did, yes.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Did you drive around in a pink car?
Nope, I never made it there because all my time and effort went into the printing business, So, and then I was involved with the Boulder Chamber of Commerce, so that's, so Mary Kay just kind of went by the wayside.
That's probably the best thing that could have ever happened to you, because their whole structure is, we'll buy whatever, we'll have a good product. I'm not saying their product was bad.
Yeah.
We'll have a good product, but we're going to mark it up here so everyone can get their commissions throughout.
Yeah.
And it's just, if you
Yeah.
don't build and have people under you, you're fucking through.
Yeah. So therefore, my mind went back to speedy printing, and therefore, that's where all my time went. And rightfully so, because that was when the kids were in college, and people were quitting. So our numbers of employees was going down. I think we had 8. We said, heck, we don't have anything else to do. Why not just work? So we would work 120 hours and, do it all yourself, keep the money.
And you know why? Because entrepreneurs eat last.
They eat
last. There's at a point where you're just like, fuck it. I've been working my ass off for 8 years, 10 years. I need to get to the table.
Yeah.
And if I don't get to the table, I'm going to kill somebody. Especially when you're living in a van.
I loved printing. I loved that business. I really did.
Okay, I'm going to ask you something, and you know this. You already know the answer. Do you love the smell of printing?
I did. It grows on you, and you can't get rid of it.
Absolutely. You can tell the paper weight by just feeling it.
Oh, I know. and you get so good at rattling off, well, that's just a 23 by 35 piece of paper, and that'll get this many out.
Exactly.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, this is what's known as printer stupidity. We're like, oh, I love this shit, and this is why I love this shit. And then when people ask you about toner, oh yeah, we need to order, blah blah, and we don't order like, I need to get 1 toner. Well, let me see if I buy that fucking printer, and I get. You were slightly before eBay or within eBay?
Oh, we were before eBay. 75 to 99.
I got in it in 2001 when everything was doing this.
Yeah.
But we were doing this.
Oh.
And why? Is because I bought my machines.
Oh.
I went to eBay and I wouldn't buy a 4-pack of like CMYK. I would buy a 16-pack.
Oh.
And what do you know? They're like 90% less than going through these other retards.
Yeah.
And so I was like, wow, now I'm making some money. It was awesome. Except I dealt with Canon, and I can't say bad about Canon. I dealt with a company that was representing Canon.
Oh, yeah.
And then they were bought out by Ricoh. And gee, they don't want to fuck with, and I was under contract. And it was
Ricoh was good.
Yeah, but I didn't have a Ricoh, I had a Canon.
And they wouldn't trade it in, huh?
They wouldn't even come to my place to repair it. I had a contract with them. And they were like, oh, we'll send somebody up there. What the and I stopped.
Well, we thought that Xerox was tough. They weren't easy to deal with.
Xerox were a bunch of cocksuckers. I know a lot of people who lived and died by them. But their shit would work, and they would eventually make it work if you had it.
Yeah.
No, this was not the case. This company was bought by Ricoh and said, we hate Canon, we're not going to deal with any of this stuff, and left me holding the bag of 2 Canons. I'm like, no!
Oh my goodness. Oh,
it was
wow.
It was horrible. It
Yeah.
was horrible. And the worst part was, I want to say it was the C200 or something like that, C250. I got 3.
Now, was that the color machine? Their
Yes.
first color
One of their first
copiers?
colors. I got 3 of them.
Ooh, ouch.
3 of them. So, because why? I can buy 16 toners and have all the toner. Don't
There
have
you
to.
go. Yeah.
But you know what the problem was? They all printed not the same. If
No
you print,
kidding.
if I put one copy and I sent copies to them, they would all print with different hues. And I'm like,
no.
oh, what am I going to do? And so I was so screwed. I eventually had to go up to, what did we move to? The Konica Minolta C7000.
Oh, okay.
For all the printers out there.
Yeah.
Here's a giant printer you just paid $70,000 for, $60,000 for it, because you couldn't afford the $110,000 C8000 at that time. So you got the C7000, and the registration wasn't there. That's where, when it prints identical in a line, the top and bottom would be like shifted
Yeah.
by like 20% or 18%. And they're all coming, oh, it's in spec. No, it's not in, and they couldn't fix it. And so the C7000s, if you have that machine, you have a machine, one-sided, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Two-sided, like for booklets and shit, no, not so
No,
much, not so
no.
much. Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, we went to, we had A.B. Dick presses for the
I'm
longest.
sorry, who was that?
Yeah, they're called A.B. Dick. I don't know if they're around anymore.
Okay.
That was the name of them.
Okay.
The registration was not the best, and you did 1 or 2 colors. Then we went to a convention in California, and we went between A.B. Dick floor plan
Yeah.
over to Heidelberg.
Ooh, Heidelberg.
And somebody told us, I guess a representative from Heidelberg came in. We said, yeah, we'll go look at them. And the pressman at A.B. Dick was always going like this. He was looking at the front, going like this, and then he'd go to the back, and then he'd come over here, be adjusting. Then we walked across the floor over to the Heidelbergs, and the guy's standing like this, going, nice, nice. We go back to A.B. Dick, he's still fighting registration.
Just to let everybody know, A.B. Dick and all the other companies back in the 80s and 90s, they're basically like the worn out hooker on the side of the road. When you go to Heidelberg, this is your high-priced women that are on there for $50,000 and $70,000 a night. And the reason that you pay them that much money is because they're goddamn worth it.
Oh my goodness, were they ever.
Yeah, if one of the things that you buy a car for, so you don't have to fix it.
And it doesn't have to be in the shop all the time.
Absolutely, because you lose.
Or on the side of the road.
How much money, when you had A.B. Dick and those other things, how much money would you consistently lose because you couldn't run jobs?
The other ones were constantly fighting, whether it was the consistency of color, whether it was the registration, it just went on and on. And of course, we were so picky about how the jobs went out, we insisted that because we were Speedy Bee printing, the quality would be the best and we would have it turned around for you quickly. So it was, so important.
I'm gonna do this transition, and I just want to let you know that what she's saying is that when you have a shitty service like A.B. Dick, and you're losing money hand over foot because you can't do not only the runs that you're supposed to do because you're fixing the machine, not only the quality, because you're going to want the quality, the colors to be consistent.
Yeah.
You want that color to be consistent from 4 months ago when you printed that 10,000 batch of papers to 10,000 batch of papers this time. You want all the colors to be proper and match up. Employees, retention.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, when you're dealing with customers on a regular basis, and you have your regular customers, they want that latte, they want that food to
Yeah.
be at a certain level.
Yeah.
And if you have and they want that service to know their water's being filled.
Yep.
So on the same level as these machines are your employees, and if that cog is not working,
Oh,
then
what a
you
good
have,
point.
yeah, you have such a horrendous situation that you have no choice but to get rid of that employee and bring in somebody who knows how to do it so you can appreciate them. Because when you have an employee that doesn't understand that this is the way you treat people,
Yeah.
this is the way you deal with
Whether
people.
it's customers, whether it's employees, whether it's your equipment, it's everything all together. What a great point.
And so, you know, if things don't work, and I'm gonna bring over to the one other thing. When you go to an employer interview, one of the last things that you'd expect as a question was one of the first things I gave as a question.
Oh, cool. What's
Yeah.
that?
Do you have any problems selling novelty and sex stuff? And do you have anything in your past that would prevent you from being open with people, educating them, teaching them, and helping them out? And if you went for a job in a printing company, oh God, no. Sorry, you crossed the line, you're getting sued. But when you're dealing with adult products in my business, in the businesses that I had, you have to ask that question. And I had one employee that I asked that question for, and she was like, oh no, I'm perfectly fine, I'm good. Come to find out, like 3 weeks later, or a month and a half later, yeah, I won't go back there. What do you mean? Well, I've had stuff in my past that I will not go back there and help people out because I just don't feel comfortable. I was like, well, then you have to go. You know, and she, what do you can't, we sell all this stuff.
Yeah. She should have, yeah.
She should have been open and
yeah.
honest. That's part of the business. And when you have somebody like that, that you don't have a choice. When you have somebody that says, you know, when part of the job is you have to clean up the print heads, you have to clean up all that stuff. Well, I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to get dirty. I don't want to have you. They have.
Well,
an
what
issue.
about some of the printing orders? We had pressmen who didn't want to print certain orders.
No, that's money, babe. When you
Yeah.
have something that does not want to be printed by another company and you can do it, that is money.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
that is why you get paid
Yeah.
and why I get paid.
Right.
And
yeah.
I've dealt with that with some printers that I won't print your stuff.
Yeah.
Because I was printing out, you know, novelty stuff. I would be printing out some other stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Which led me into the printing business.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Interesting.
I'm going to do a lot of stuff that people don't want, that they won't do.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's all your mentality of how you want to run the business. But that's why you're in business for yourself, because I'm going to carry this a step further. Because there was that incident not that long ago, maybe it was, the cake. And if there's a company that doesn't want to do a certain style
There's
of cake,
plenty of other companies
there are
that will.
others that will. And it's not fair, it's not right that somebody is able to shut down a company because they don't see eye to eye.
Absolutely. You know, the right to do business
Yeah,
is the right not to do business. You
Yeah.
are a business owner, and that takes precedent with you. What are you willing to do? What are you not willing to do?
Right.
There is no fucking reason that those two fags could not go to somewhere else.
no.
And I'm sorry. No. I have too many goddamn gay friends that'll be like, yeah, they're fags.
Okay.
Okay, if you know what?
It is not fair. It's, you know,
But I did hear one thing,
what?
and I'm like, you know, it's one thing to discriminate against gay people, and you just walk away and go to somebody else.
Yeah, if you're
Okay.
not happy with it.
But if those people said, no, I'm not going to make a cake for Jews, that kind of changes things, doesn't it? Yeah, it's like, no,
I don't know,
you know,
because you have to tell me.
I don't
Is
like,
that-
I don't like Pentecost. Get the hell out of my store. You know, at that point, are you being, you know, it's wrong. But at the same time, you as a Jew, you as a Pentecost, you as a gay person, have absolutely right to be like, fuck you, goodbye, I now know where
But
you
to
stand.
take it to court and all that stuff
That
seems
you just
far out ridiculous.
absolutely. You know, if somebody, you know, and there are people, there's tons of people, there's a lot of black businesses that don't like white people.
Yeah,
And you know what, then there's a lot of, you know, other places that discriminate in their own thing. You know what, that is their right.
exactly.
We are
So-
not we don't have the First Amendment for nothing.
So why not go to a place where you're accepted, and why make other people's lives miserable?
Absolutely. And besides, I don't like spit in my cake.
Yeah.
And that's if you're lucky to get
yeah.
only spit in
And
your
you
cake.
yeah, and you don't know.
Yeah. But, you know, I'd rather be upfront and honest, you know,
Yeah.
because everybody is equal all across the board except for you Irish. You know why? Because I saw, oh God, I saw Blazing Saddles. You know, and that to me was one of the funniest lines. I will take, you know, and he goes through all these different racial slurs. I will take everybody, but we're not taking the Irish.
I forgot that line.
That goes out to Brian. Brian's an old friend of mine.
Oh, okay,
From
okay,
Jersey.
Brian.
Yeah, he'll never listen to this, but he's,
But you're putting in a good word for him anyway.
yeah. So anyhow, okay. Boy, we covered a lot of shit today.
I think we did, yeah.
Okay,
All we did was bring in one idea of retention, and look at where it went.
I know, and it wasn't water retention, which is good. Okay, so, bottom line is, first of all, let's give a shout out to our sponsors, Gottfried Marketing. When you need shirts and printing and stuff like that, and you want to grow your business, go to gottfriedmarketing.com. There's a whole bunch of stuff. You can contact us there. Call us at 828-406-8760. I will shout out for contact mapping.
Thank you.
No, it's all good. You want to say something good about contact mapping?
I love contact mapping, and I love to share with you how much I love it and how it can benefit you.
You know, one of the things that I should mention about contact mapping, Tom Chenault is one of the highest rated individuals who've ever been in direct marketing and
Yeah.
network marketing.
Yeah.
What he did is he took the ideas of what makes network marketing successful, and he helped his son, Adrian, helped his son Adrian create this, which will help out your contacts. Now, yeah, there's a lot of, you know, there's things out there,
CRMs.
CRMs that do things along these lines, but for the price for what you get with contact mapping, it's really a good thing.
It is,
And
yeah.
so,
There's training that goes along with it, and I can
Yeah.
help direct anybody who's interested.
yeah, and the worst part about it is that Adrian and Tom, if you call them up, will be like, help me with this.
Yeah,
And they'll be like, this is how you use it, this is what you do.
Yeah.
And they may have to tell you 2 to 4 times, because we all know we're as business owners, we're pretty retarded. And so, you know, you have, you know, at any one time for a business owner, we only have 50 things on our brain.
exactly,
You know,
yeah.
when we're busy, we have 150 things on our brain. When we lose one, you know, it's always good to be able to go back.
Right.
And if Adrian says, didn't I say this to you like a week and a half ago? Yeah, but they'll keep helping you out until you get it.
That's right.
And if you need any printing, come to me. And do we want, I'm going to get into something again. I'm going to take this totally different way.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
The surprise.
Yeah, this is, since, you know, this is timely, I don't like to have a lot of timely stuff, but I'm going to throw something out at you.
Okay.
Biden, Trump. And it's, yeah, I can see by your eyes, I'm not saying shit. I'm not saying shit. How the fuck did we get to where we have a narcissistic, son of a bitch con man on one end, and a guy with dementia on the other end with an attorney general who loves to put people in jail? How the fuck did we get here? You know what I'm going to say? You don't even have to say anything. We got here because all of Congress sucks.
Yeah, we are here because this is where they want us to be. So since the 70s, when they started Department of Education, it's been a process for them to figure out how to dumb down America, which is why that gets back to our conversation. Why do the schools not have a good educational program where they teach about financing? It's because the government doesn't want that. They want us dependent on them so that they can control us. And that's my thinking of the whole thing.
But this is like all of Congress.
It's all of Congress. They're all bought off.
You know
They're bought off by...
You know they have a 5 to 6% approval rating? That's out of 100.
But they keep putting in the same people. They have enough money to be bought, to buy all their votes. It's pretty disgusting. So we're not really the free country that we want. But I'm going to tell you this. If we get rid of the Electoral College and we get rid of the Constitution, we are no longer a country.
I'd go further than that. I think that this country is ready for a major revolt, and I think we need to just be, as a country, we're at a pivotal point, seeing, excuse me, thank you for my burps though.
How'd you do? Let's see.
Oh, it's done.
Oh,
It's
wow,
done.
good job.
You know, my ex said something really smart 20 plus years ago. I was doing a newspaper called the Emanon, which is no name backwards, and it was brainstorming. And I was like, you know, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush. And she said, these are the two best men America has to offer. And they've only gotten worse, worse, and worse.
They were not the best, because the Dems and the Republicans were an awful lot alike.
They're the same party at this
Exactly,
point.
they were. So when you understand that this has been in the making since the 50s, if you read Creatures from Jekyll Island, it will open up.
Yeah, I heard about that.
It will open up your whole brain to understand what evolution they have been working on for years. And when George Bush Sr. was at the UN and made his pivotal speech, you can go back and hear him say, we are now in the process of a new world order, and it can't be stopped. The new world order means that everybody is the same. There are no borders. So that's why they put up this scheme saying that there are borders, you know, that we've got to have a border. Well, I hate to tell you, but Trump's right. If we don't have borders,
I'm sorry, what did you say? Trump is
I
what?
said is correct when he says if we don't have that wall, and we're not an actual United States with law and order, we're not a country.
I disagree.
Well, we'll see.
I think the wall is absolutely fucking asinine.
Well, it's
And
a shame that it's got to come down to that.
No, no. See, when I was running for governor, it was like
where?
North Carolina.
Oh.
When I was running for governor,
Well, you should have. Was that before or after your novelty store?
it was when I had it. It was
Yeah?
2000, year 2000. And I was, I basically said, we don't need a wall, we need gun turrets. And everyone laughed. I'm like, I'm fucking serious. But nowadays, we don't need a wall. We don't need gun turrets. We need to have, because there's monitors and motion sensors and ground sensors that we can just boop, 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 all along the border. We don't have to put up a fucking wall.
Yeah, I
And
know. It's just spending money.
Exactly.
Why?
But now you have those ground sensors, those motion sensors out in the wilderness. You have night vision. You have all the ability to where a 3,000 people staff can monitor the wall 24/7.
Yeah,
You have signs on each side. You don't cross legally, you'll be killed.
yeah,
Done.
yeah.
You don't cross legally, you'll be killed.
You know, that makes total sense. But once again, you have too many people in Congress who have made a living there. Look at how long Pelosi's been there. I mean, she's in her 80s.
She's hot.
Oh, she's hot. Okay, well, you can have her.
I just wanted to see your face when I said that. And the wheel, yeah, I could see it. And it was like so beautiful. No, a friend of mine.
They vote themselves raises. They vote themselves whatever they want. I get health care, but you don't. I mean, talk about privileged.
I've already, a friend of mine sent me a thing, and I was like, he sent me, because he's very pro-Trump, and I'm very, independent.
Yeah.
He keeps calling me the Democrat, and I'm like, stop it. I fucking hate them as much as I hate the Republicans. But, bottom line, anybody over 70 in Congress, turn them to blue.
Come on, yeah.
There needs to be a glue factory. If you want to stay there past 70, you need to be fed into a glue factory along with some old dead horses, so you can get.
Wasn't there a movie about it? Yeah, I can't remember the name of it, where they basically do that.
Soylent Green?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, I'm all for Soylent Green, or Logan's Run, where they just bring them up to the sky and explode them.
Oh, nice.
I am fine with that.
Yeah.
Get them the fuck out. There's no reason anybody
There
70
isn't.
plus,
Yeah.
you are forced to retirement, get the fuck out of here. Let the people deal with what they want to deal with.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay?
Instead of making everybody paranoid, to me, that's what this COVID is all about. Because when people have fear and they don't have love, then they can be controlled.
Absolutely. Fear is the number one controlling thing.
And that's what the news is good at, and that's what Congress is good at.
Just to let you know, I don't watch the news, haven't watched a full news segment
Me neither.
since 2002. Okay?
But I have my
listen to
attitude.
it here and there, but it's crap. Okay, I gotta ask you, you don't listen to Fox News?
I used to. I can't listen to any of it anymore.
Good, okay, good.
I cannot, that's why I dig into contact mapping and this other stuff, the direct marketing.
Because people that listen to Fox News or MSNBC or CNN for all intents and purposes.
All of them.
Are brainwashed and retarded. And I will say that, yes. If you listen nonstop to Fox News, CNN, or
It's
MSNBC,
depressing.
you are brainwashed and retarded. Because I was lucky enough to catch this guy on brainwashing from the KGB. And
Okay, where was that?
it's YouTube. Where else? Do you pick up anything?
Okay,
He's
yeah.
from the KGB, and he
Yeah.
talked about brainwashing. He's like,
Oh, that's what we've got going on, for sure.
yeah, once you have somebody that's been indoctrinated for 4 to 5 years, or for 3 years, they will start questioning reality. When I'm trying to do a Russian accent.
Well, it's okay.
Duh, I gotta get to the, and then, but once they hit 5 years to 7 years, they're done.
Yeah,
You can tell them the sky is yellow, and they will argue with anybody that sky is yellow. It is not blue.
yeah,
And that's where we're at right now, because these people have listened to this over and over and
Yeah,
over again.
yeah.
And it's just been repeated.
When I was growing up, at 5 o'clock, Walter Cronkite turned off. But more than that, we didn't have a TV in our house. We couldn't afford one.
What do you mean you couldn't afford one?
My parents couldn't afford a TV.
You had a picture on the wall, didn't you?
Of them?
Yeah. No, I know.
Yeah. No, I mean, and it started out as black and white, and And man, when our neighbors had color TV, whoa, man, I had to get to know them.
I fully get that, yeah.
Roy Rogers and Zorro.
Wow, okay, so you're not 29. I thought you were
30,
30, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, no, but it's, you know, it's, I feel for the younger generation that doesn't get it.
Yeah,
And knowing what I know now about the total corruption in the judicial system, knowing what I know about the total corruption in politics and all the other stuff, it disgusts me
yeah,
that the only way to change this is to, you know, and I'm a very big person in peace, love, and advocacy.
yeah,
But I'm also a realist that if you don't take your guns up once in a while to be like, no, stop it,
yeah,
that things won't change. And they
Yeah.
won't change in this culture because we can't get everybody on the same page
Yep.
that says, fucking enough.
yeah.
You know, I actually have a website which is, it just basically says, it's shirts that just say enough.
Yeah,
Because everybody's so fucking sick of it.
yeah.
You know,
They are.
you do, I know you're gonna say something, go ahead.
No, I just was thinking how they're, it seems as though they're trying to get people to control people. So you have someone giving you a dirty look because you're not doing what they think is right. Don't do that.
Sorry.
That looks like that hurts.
No, I had a crick in my neck.
Oh.
But yeah, and then the thing about turning on people, everybody, tell on your neighbor, tell on
Yeah.
your father, go
Yeah,
to school
come
and
on.
tell on your parents.
Yeah,
What the fuck?
yeah,
But at the same time, 20 years ago, Democrats, Republicans, 42, 38%. You know what they are now?
50-50. 51-50, 51-49.
People who vote
Yeah,
in the entire population, 42, 38. Democrat, Republican.
oh, really?
Yes. You know what they are now? 12 and 10.
Really?
Yes. Because everybody has had enough.
Oh, they
The
have.
Republicans are sick of the Republicans. The Democrats are sick of the Democrats. Lindsey Graham, honestly, should be in jail along with, what's his face, McConnell. You can't fucking say, we're gonna hold up a vote during the last election and then say, you know what, for the reason that
Yeah.
you're doing it now. I'm sorry, there's only so much hypocrisy
Yeah.
that a person can
Oh,
take.
they're playing such a game with the American public.
They are, and this is nothing but, we're gonna stuff the jury box with, or
Yeah.
the Supreme Court with only people that will agree with us. Because right now, I mean, if
Well, Pelosi does the same thing. I mean,
I
You know, I'm
I
saying-
don't like Pelosi, but
all of
all
them,
Democrats,
all
all.
I'm saying is they all do it. It's a game to them,
Totally,
and it's our lives.
absolutely. But there's gonna be on the panel of 11 for Supreme Court, is there 9 or 11? I wanna say it's 9.
I thought 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like 7 Catholics. That is not a representation of the U.S.
That's getting deeper than I understand.
Yeah.
But
So,
I can see where you're going with it.
absolutely, we need that, there should be a melting pot. There is no, give me an independent judge.
Yeah.
Most
But
independent.
someone who understands the Constitution as opposed to trying to
Yeah.
change it. They're trying to say that the Constitution was written so long ago, it's obsolete now and
No,
it's not.
No, there are certain things that need to be added in, granted, but the main focus of the Constitution is the Constitution. These guys are fucking brilliant.
They really were. I just don't know where they got their brains, because we don't see it today. There are very
The
few.
brains of all of Congress we know exactly where they're at.
Yeah,
They're not in their
Money.
heads, they're
Yeah.
in their ass, and it's greed.
Yeah.
Oh God, I saw, if you get a chance, oh God, what's her name? The Hunger Games, with the girl in the Hunger Games.
Stone?
No. The girl, Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh,
Look up Jennifer Lawrence politics. Oh my God.
why?
Because she did a video about politics and people.
Oh.
Did you know?
Is it good?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Oh,
It's really
Jennifer.
good. Jennifer Lawrence and politics. Are you aware that if you have 0% of the population in favor of a bill, do you know what percentage it'll get passed by? And there's a 30% chance of passing if you have 0% of the population that wants it.
Well, I believe it.
You know what'll happen if you have 100% of the population that wants this bill? You know what percentage?
Then it won't get passed.
No, 30%.
So
Think
she
about that.
studied that?
No, she's working with this other group that has studied all this stuff.
Oh,
So
wow.
basically, if you have 0%, or you have 100% of the population that wants something, you have a 30% chance.
Wow.
It will not change. It's all about the Benjamins and the Congress. I'm telling you, we need to turn most of these people to
Oh,
good.
I'm in total agreement.
That's why we're, whether and I know that you are more Republican state-centered, but at the same time, you understand that you're more independent because you do know that these people need to be turned to glue.
I definitely do, and as a matter of fact, I was trying to figure out how I could change to be listed as independent.
You just have to go to your
Too much work.
wherever you go for your elections
Yeah,
to register,
Yeah.
the same place you can change your
Yeah.
affiliation.
and does it really matter? I
Affiliation.
don't know.
It does and it doesn't. But I'll be honest with you, I mean, I made a list of all this shit that if I was president, this is what I do, this is what I think needs to be done.
Yeah.
Number one, immediately, Congress is on Obamacare.
On it?
On it.
Why on it? Oh, because they're not on it. Yeah,
Yeah.
got it.
All
got
of
it.
Congress on
Okay.
Obamacare.
Yeah,
Number two, transparency.
yeah.
You hire 2 accounting firms that put everything online. Very simple to find out what your congressperson, what your senate, what your any of these people are doing that day.
Yeah.
Who they took bribes from. I'm sorry, campaign contributions.
Yeah.
If they take campaign contributions from, I don't know, the medical industry, the pharmaceutical industry, they cannot bring a bill. They cannot touch
I gotta
the bill.
interrupt you because we got a postcard saying to vote Democrat in the mail, telling us how to vote. And we're looking at that going, are they allowed to?
You're sheeple.
Yeah,
But I don't want to hear about that because I was, for some reason, they put me down as a Republican for a while, for years. And I
Okay.
got email after email about fear. Oh, they're going to take this away, they're going to do that, it was nonstop fear and hate.
yeah.
And so.
And
it's-
that's what they said about Trump, that he was gonna take away Social Security and Medicare and
No,
all that stuff.
Social Security's dead. If you think you're gonna make anything from Social Security, you're wrong, because Social Security has been sucked dry from.
From Congress.
From Congress, basically,
Yeah,
yes.
I know. Yeah,
$23 trillion, soon to be 25 to 30
Yeah.
trillion dollars. The dollar is not gonna be worth shit in another year to 2 years if someone doesn't start fixing stuff.
yeah,
And not
yeah.
to be rude, it doesn't look like it's gonna be fixed by either one of these fuckers that are in.
yeah, yeah. Well,
So,
if Biden gets in, he's got Alzheimer's, and they're already working on passing an amendment, the 25th Amendment, so that they can make put Kamala in there, and then, do whatever they want with her, but probably allow Pelosi to make the decisions, if that's
I
how
don't know, I
it
think
goes.
this is fucking this is a
I
nightmare.
think people are
This
just
is a
so
nightmare.
sick of
This is
it.
a nightmare scenario, no matter how you fucking look
It
at it.
is, it is.
And I feel for all of the American people.
Yeah,
You know, one of the things that, you know, I don't know if you're a Black Lives Matter person, and
I don't follow it.
it's just, you know, it's a simple solution. Rather than giving, if something happens to an officer shooting or whatever, and number one, if there's no video, the officer is immediately brought up on charges. Period. If there is a video, you deal with the same people who are looking at the video to either acquit or bring up on charges. But instead of making that a panel of all officer-friendly people, you take it for 4 people that are on that panel from that group and 7 people that are from the
Community?
the community that
Yeah.
happens. And they make the decision whether or not there's going to be police brought up on charges.
Yeah.
Done. You don't have to deal with it.
I know, they find all sorts of ways to obfuscate the
But that, you know,
issues.
and I am not, I used to be really, like I say, really, really pro-police. I mean, I'm a business owner. I want to make sure that if I'm held hostage and there's a guy with a gun, that the guy with the rifle doesn't go 3 centimeters to the wrong way.
Yeah,
So I'm always like, you know, you have to be police-centric. But after everything I've seen online and everything I lived through, it scares the shit out of me
yeah,
that these people have so much fucking power.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't want to live in a police state, but I don't want there not to be any rules where it's fucking anarchy.
Yeah, let's get back to true law and order as opposed to greed, but there's an awful lot of greed that
Yes.
happens.
With that in mind, there's a lot of greed, and you should be sending all your printing and marketing material to Gottfried Marketing. I'm sorry, I couldn't
And all your
resist.
phone calls to Ginny, and I'll show you contact mapping.
I'm sorry, Jenny. What's your phone number?
303-775-4456. Did I guess it right?
Yeah, you absolutely got it right. So guys, if you want to better your business, you want to talk, if you are a business owner and you want to come on the show, we'd
Please.
love to have you on the show. This is Longmont Local, I don't know, what are we
In
gonna call this?
Longmont Matters?
Longmont, that's Tom's show.
That is,
Yeah,
yes.
so we
Yeah.
can push that, but we can't call us Longmont
Oh, that's
Matters.
right. No,
So
but
that'd be
we're,
kind of copyright
Yeah.
infringement.
Oh.
Sorry, Tom, I don't want to know your lawyers. So,
that was Ginny's fault.
yeah. I have no idea. I'm thinking Longmont Local or Local Longmont.
There you go.
L squared. What the,
We'll have to think on that one.
what the L is happening?
Yeah.
That'd be a good one. What the L?
What the L?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
What's in L? What's no.
I don't know. Anyhow, we're brainstorming here. So anyhow, Ginny,
Great.
love you. You are a wonderful co-host kind of thing.
And Ken, you're a terrific producer. Thank you.
And sexy.
And sexy.
Yeah,
And
that's it.
slender.
Oh,
and
God, I-
fast and
Slender.
rebounded.
You know, I had something happen the other day, which I love. Because I look at people and I'm like, God, you look gorgeous today. You know, and I say that, and I mean it. And I have this guy come in, and I'm like, what are you doing, sexy? And it just brings a smile to your face.
Yeah.
And
I'll remember
I
that.
had this woman come through, and I was like, so long, beautiful. And she stopped, comes back, and is like, thank you. I feel so
Aw.
much better. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get down her pants
Yeah.
or, anything like that. So many people like me just want to be polite
Yeah.
and make me feel better
And smile.
and smile. And she came back and said something really nice to me. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It warms my heart when they get it and they're like, thank you. I
Yeah.
really appreciate that. You made my day. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
It's not about, offending anybody or playing the victim.
Oh,
It's
I'm
just
with you.
about,
Positivity. The more positivity we can share, the more we can affect the energy of the earth.
positively. On that note, guys, Vlogcast number 3 is dead.
Thank
Dead
you.
and buried and going to be online real soon. So thank you so very much. Have a great day. Thanks for listening.
Take care. Bye.
Fun.
Stop. Oop, let me hit the stop button instead of record. How's that? Stop. And then this is